Today marks Canada's National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, also known as Orange Shirt Day. It's a day of memorial to acknowledge the generational impact caused by the Canadian residential school system. Joining us now to discuss how far we've come and how far we need to go is the Assembly of First Nations National Chief, Cindy Woodhouse Nepinak. Chief, we appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
This is an important day to discuss the residential school system and its effect in Canada. How far have we come in recent years and how can we do better?
Well, absolutely. Look, there's many calls that have not been answered yet from the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. We've come a long way and we have a long way to go. And I think, today we lift up our residential school survivors and their families and the ones that didn't make it home. And we remember what they had went through in this country as children, stripped from their families and taken to these institutions that were supposed education systems, but they weren't. They were to take the Indian out of the child. And together we need to continue to move forward and make sure that we're focusing on the calls to action of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. And of course, many other reports. You've got the Aboriginal Justice Inquiry that's still sitting on the shelves, and many ways of improving things in this country for First Nations people, and in life in Canada for the First Peoples of this country. Yeah.
How can non-Indigenous Canadians best support Indigenous people?
I think by number one, call them and go and visit them. Of course, education institutions, making sure that when they have boxes checked off that it's actually geared towards First Nations people. Tackling poverty. Poverty is such an assault on First Nations people, and it's been meditated that way. And I think that, we could do better. We've come a long way. We have a long way to go. And, I think honoring the residential school survivors that, these people had to endure these schools, and then of course there was the impacts of day school afterwards, and there's still problems with the 60s scoop that our people had went through thereafter, and now we have a really broken child welfare system. And so I think provinces as well had their role to play in that when it comes to the child welfare system. I think them stepping back and making sure that we begin to push towards a First Nations led solution on those issues, and allowing and working with First Nations to lead will go a long way. Attend our powwows. Our people would be so honored for that, or, attend our communities.
Okay, and on that note, I want to talk about an incident you experienced in April. You were on an Air Canada flight where you were forced to hand over a case containing your headdress. The company has since apologized and called the situation regrettable. What do you think can be done better to understand and respect Indigenous culture?
Well, I think for the airline industry, when it comes to Air Canada, I'm glad that they redid a policy to make sure that our items are not taken from us when we load airplanes in this country when it comes to Air Canada. But I think the whole industry needs to change. I think every, WestJet, Porter, everybody needs to make sure that they're working towards that. And it's like, you wouldn't take somebody's turban away. You wouldn't take somebody's Bible away. And that was an unfortunate incident, but I think it was a learning incident for this country. And I'm glad that the airline has since made new policies to be more accessible for First Nations people when it comes to our sacred items.
Absolutely, Chief. I think it's a day of reflection for Canadians everywhere. We can't let you go without discussing a major incident in Alberta this month where John Wells, a well-known member of the Blood Tribe in Calgary, died after an interaction with police on September 17th at a Calgary hotel. The province's police watchdog says Wells was unarmed, confused, and had his hands up. Body camera footage shows officers tackling and punching him, as well as using a taser. He's one of 9 Indigenous people who have died in police altercations since the end of August. What's your reaction to this?
It makes me so, I'd read the report, and it makes me like, this is our George Floyd here in Canada. And I'd read the report. And of course, I've reached out to leadership, but I've reached out to the family. I'll be reaching out to them again today. And this has to stop. It's this 9 First Nations people in this country with less than a month. And it's hurtful. And look, as First Nations people, we're going to have to start civilly suing these cops that are killing our people. We can't have no more dead Indians. And it just has to stop. We have to do something because it just seems like this is too many killings. And it's just reading this report the other day, I was just baffled that they put a spit mask on him while they knew he was dying. And it just hurts my heart so much. It's angering people. And when we're trying to work towards reconciliation, incidents like this that happen set things back. This entire country needs to denounce that killing. This could have been anybody's son, anybody's brother, anybody's uncle, and anybody's father. And so it was very shocking. And then to read the report afterwards, I had tears in my eyes. And I'm an emotional person, but it was very heartbreaking. Policing in this country needs to change. First Nations policing, you've seen in the Auditor General's report a couple of months ago that it's severely underfunded. And Canada has to come to the table, as well as the provinces. They can't say that they have full jurisdiction over First Nations and then things like this continue to happen. Come to the table and let's get some proper work done in a good way. Policing is obviously very broken in this country.
Okay, Chief, we thank you so much for talking to us today. That's Chief Cindy Woodhouse Nepinak, the Assembly of First Nations National Chief.
Thank you.